A black woman in a sharp blazer strode up to the first-class check-in at Horizon Air, only to be met with a smug, "You're not on the list." Before the agent could catch his breath, she delivered a lesson so sharp and blistering it left them reeling with regret. Not a dramatic shutdown, but a swift, unrelenting strike they'd carry like a wound. That morning, Lauren Carter swept into Chicago O'Hare's Terminal 2 with a quiet force that didn't beg for attention but claimed it outright. At 42, she was the CEO of Carter Innovations, a tech powerhouse that turned failing startups into profit machines. Her name was etched in industry awards and patent records, her face a deliberate mystery. She wore a charcoal suit, tailored to perfection but free of flash, with a leather tote slung over her shoulder. No loud logos, just the understated gleam of authority. Her locks were swept into a neat low bun, her silver watch ticking with steady calm as she approached the counter for Flight 214 to Seattle. The agent, Ethan Brooks, a lanky guy with a crooked tie and a badge slightly askew, didn't look up from his screen. "Boarding pass," he muttered, fingers tapping an impatient rhythm on the keyboard. Lauren slid it across. "First class, 9:15 a.m., her name printed in bold, clear as day. He scanned it, squinted at the barcode, scanned again, then flicked it back with a careless twist, like it was trash. "Nope, not in the system." Lauren's voice was calm, edged with iron. "It's there. Check it properly." Ethan's lip curled into a smirk, his eyes meeting hers for a fleeting moment before sliding away. "I did. You're not on this flight. Maybe you meant economy over there." He jerked his thumb toward the chaotic general boarding line. Already turning to the next passenger, a white guy in a button-down, who got a quick, "Sir, good morning," and a nod. Lauren planted her feet, her voice dropping to a low, taut hum. "I'm not moving. This is my ticket, first class. Paid, confirmed." "Look again." Ethan's smirk flickered. He leaned forward, stabbing the keys harder, the screen flashing like it was mocking him. "Ma'am, I'm telling you, you're not here. Step aside now, or I call security." The line's Dorito woman in a wool coat sighed loudly. A businessman checked his watch, irritation spreading like ripples. Lauren pulled her phone, scrolled to the confirmation email date. Time, seat 2A, Horizon Air's logo unmistakable. Anne held it out. "Explain this, then." Ethan grabbed it, skimmed it with a scoff, and tossed it back, the paper sliding across the counter. "Fake, glitch, whatever. Doesn't match. You're done here." His tone was a push, his eyes dismissing her like she was nothing, his stance radiating victory. A second agent, Megan Walsh, with a tight ponytail and arms crossed like a wall, stepped up beside him, her boots clicking sharply. "What's the holdup?" she snapped, her glare landing on Lauren, sizing her up like an intruder. "Your system's wrong," Lauren said, steady but unyielding. "I'm first class. Fix it." Megan snatched the boarding pass, scanned it herself, her lips pressing into a thin, doubtful line as the scanner beeped a flat denial. "Nothing. Sorry, ma'am, you're not boarding." Ethan rocked back on his heels, smugness blooming across his face. "Told you. Move, or we escalate this." The air tightened. Lauren felt it had familiar, bitter pang of being judged and discarded, her right to be there questioned by two people too lazy to dig deeper. She locked eyes with Ethan, then Megan, her voice slicing through the terminal's hum like a knife. "Correct it, or I will." Ethan let out a sharp, mocking laugh. "Yeah, go for it, sweetheart." Megan's smirk widened, her fingers curling around her radio, thumb hovering over the call button, ready to bring in backup. Lauren didn't flinch. She stepped closer, boots silent but purposeful on the worn floor, now inches from the counter, and pulled out her phone. One call, one number she kept for moments like this, not for show, but for precision, a tool she wielded with deadly accuracy. "Derek," she said, her voice a honed blade. "O'Hare, Horizon Gate. They're denying my first-class ticket. It's legit. Handle it now." Derek Hayes, her COO and closest ally, didn't hesitate, his voice clipped and sure over the line. "Got it. 2 minutes." She hung up, pinned Ethan with a stare that could have cracked stone, and waited, her presence a gathering storm. Ethan shifted, uneasy, his fingers returning to the keyboard, tapping faster now, a faint sweat gleaming on his forehead. "Come on, damn it," he muttered, his voice breaking as the screen blinked, froze, then flashed a red error. Invalid entry. He slammed a palm on the counter, the sound sharp, startling a kid in line clutching a stuffed toy. Megan's radio crackled. She pressed it to her ear, her eyes widening as a voice hissed through, urgent and low. She shot Ethan a look not smug now, but rattled her hand gripping the counter. What the hell's happening? Ethan snapped, his voice climbing as he pounded the keys again, the screen a mess of glitches, pop-ups, and code. Passengers murmured louder, unease spreading. What's taking so long? I've got a connecting flight. This is ridiculous. Lauren didn't move, didn't speak. Her silence was a weight, pressing on the chaos, her eyes tracking Ethan's twitching hands, Megan's darting gaze. The PA system blared, sharp and jarring. Flight 214 to Seattle, boarding paused. Stand by for updates. Ethan cursed, loud and raw. You've got to be kidding me. His fingers flew over keys that wouldn't obey, the screen now frozen with corrupted data. Megan's radio buzzed again, louder. She flinched, turning away, whispering fiercely into it. Yes, sir, she's still here. What do you mean? Check the VIP list. I don't have access to her voice cut off, drowned by the growing passenger complaints a man in a suit shouting. I paid for first class, fix this. A woman with a stroller muttered, unbelievable. Lauren stood firm, her toed at her feet like a soldier's gear, her posture unbreakable. She was the calm in the storm, watching Ethan's bravado crumble, Megan's confidence crack, the gate descending into a tangle of noise and desperation. Then the crowd parted, and a man in a Horizon Air blazer, Tom Randall, gate supervisor, burst through, tie loose, forehead slick with sweat, badge flapping as he half ran to the counter. His eyes locked on Lauren, wild with urgency. MS. Carter? Lauren Carter. She nodded once, slow and deliberate, her gaze a steady burn that made him shrink. Tom's voice shook, high and brittle. Ma'am, I'm so sorry. Terrible mix-up. You're cleared, we're fixing this now. Lauren's eyes didn't soften, her tone icy and piercing. Fixing what? Why was I denied? Tom's hands twisted, knuckles white. A system flag. It's being corrected, I swear. Flag? She cut in, her voice rising just enough to pin him down, her words striking like a hammer. What flagged me, Tom? My ticket's real. Your agents didn't think I was. What? Ethan shifted behind the counter, shoulders hunched, eyes on the floor. Megan clutched her radio, staring at her boots, the static unanswered. Tom wiped his brow, trembling, stammering. I don't know yet, ma'am, but corporate's on it. I've got calls out. Not good enough. Lauren snapped, stepping closer, her shadow falling over him, her voice a controlled fire. You don't get to brush this off. I want names, reasons now. The gate went silent, a hush swallowing the noise. Passengers froze mid-complaint, a child's cry cut short, the air thick with attention. Tom's radio crackled again. He flinched, lifting it with a shaking hand, his face paling as a voice barked through. MS. Carter, he croaked, throat bobbing. They're pulling the logs. Your ticket's reinstated, boarding's back on. Please let me. No, she said, her voice a whip crack echoing off the glass walls. You don't escort me anywhere until I know why your people looked at me and saw fraud. Tom swallowed hard, his Adam's apple jerking. It's coming from upstairs. 2 minutes, I swear. Lauren crossed her arms, her watch ticking like a countdown, her stare boring through him. Behind the counter, Ethan and Megan huddled like cornered prey, screens flashing red system failure, access denied, phones ringing unanswered, a relentless shrill cutting through the chaos. Ethan slammed the keyboard again. This is his voice frayed as he yanked his tie loose, like it was strangling him. Megan hissed, Shut up. Ethan, you heard the radio. She's someone big, and we're done. Passengers pressed closer, their voices rising. What's the delay? I've got a meeting. Fix this, or I'm suing. Tom waved them off, arms flailing. We're working on it, please, just wait. His plea vanished into the din. Lauren stood unmoved, a rock in the storm, her presence bending the chaos around her. She didn't pace, didn't sigh, just watched Ethan's hands shake, Megan's jaw tighten, Tom's panic spiral into a meltdown. A woman in line whispered to her husband, Who is she? A businessman started recording, the red light blinking. The gate was a pressure cooker, and Lauren held the lid. Then Tom's radio erupted, a voice cutting through, loud and sharp, audible to everyone nearby. Carter's clean. CEO of Carter Innovations, VIP status buried in the system. Agent screwed it up. Get her on now. Tom spun to her, eyes wide, pleading. MS. Carter, you're cleared, first class, top priority. We didn't know. You didn't ask, she shot back, her voice slicing through his excuses like a blade. You assumed. Who trained them to assume? She pointed at Ethan and Megan, who shrank under her gaze. Ethan's bravado was gone, hands in his pockets. Megan's smirk vanished, her face pale as she gripped the counter. Tom floundered, words stumbling. We'll find out, ma'am, I promise. You will, she said, her tone final. And you'll tell me. She grabbed her tote, slung it over her shoulder with smooth precision, turned toward the gate, then paused, spinning back. One more thing. Those two, they don't touch another passenger until they learn respect. Make it stick. Tom nodded frantically, head bobbing. Yes, ma'am, they're off rotation. Retraining starts today. Lauren boarded first, head high, no apologies needed. Ethan and Megan were sidelined, Tom shouting orders in her wake, his voice cracking as he tried to regain control. Her seat was spacious, the flight attendants, welcome, MS. Carter, crisp but nervous. She didn't sink into the luxury. She sat upright, replaying the confrontation, the smirk, the dismissal, the moment they realized she wasn't bluffing. Derek texted, You good? Yeah, she replied. Hit them hard. He sent a fist bump emoji. A faint smirk crossed her face, real and brief, a spark of victory in her eyes. By noon, Horizon's gate was a mess. Ethan and Megan were pulled from duty, Tom on the phone with corporate, passengers still buzzing about the woman who halted the flight. She hadn't stopped it, just bent it until it yielded to her will. Word spread fast. Horizon issued a memo, agents reassigned, system flags under review, Lauren's name flagged as untouchable. She landed in Seattle, met by Derek, who grinned wide as she stepped off the jetway. Heard you made them sweat buckets. They earned every drop, she said, brushing past, her stride unbroken. Lunch, then work. They don't forget this. Back at O'Hare, Ethan clocked out early, muttering about overblown drama as he slammed his badge into his locker. Megan stayed, head down, locked into a 6 a.m. Retraining she couldn't dodge, her hands fidgeting with a pen. Tom emailed Lauren that night, his tone subdued. MS. Carter, agents disciplined, full flag audit launched, your inputs in the training module. Thank you. She read it, nodded, the screen's glow reflecting in her eyes. No chaos, no spectacle, just a lesson, swift and cutting, carved deep into Horizon's core. They doubted her, regretted it instantly, and she walked away taller, leaving them to clean up the pieces of their shattered assumptions. For every time you've been dismissed, undervalued, or told you don't belong, this one's for you. Lauren didn't burn the place down, she locked it down and kept the key.